First, I'll discuss the doubts related to exercise thermometer and method of heat transfer, exercise 1. Any question from 1 to 5? Any doubt? Question number 1, a student wishes to check the upper and the lower fixed point of a thermometer. What is the upper fixed point? Upper fixed point means 100 degrees centigrade. And what is the lower fixed point? Lower fixed point means 0 degree. So how we can check? Temperature of a pure boiling water is 100 and temperature of a pure melting ice is 0. So beaker P contain a mixture of ice and salt. That's wrong because it will not melt at 0. It's an impure substance. Impure substance does not have a fixed melting point. Q contain a mixture of ice and water. So if a mixture of ice and water is there, means it's a melting ice. And what is the temperature of the melting ice? The temperature of the melting ice is 0. So using this, we can mark the lower fixed point. Beaker R contain a boiling salt solution. Salt solution means impure water, and impure water will not boil at 100 degree centigrade. And the last one, beaker S contain a boiling water. So when it contain a boiling water, it will boil at 100 degree centigrade. As it will boil at 100 degree centigrade, so we can mark the upper fixed point. So beaker Q and beaker S can be used to mark the upper and the lower fixed points. Any doubt from question 6 to question 10? This is exercise 1 of methods of heat thermometer and methods of heat transfer, which consists of MCQs or multiple choice questions. Question number 5. Which feature would give a thermometer increase the range? If we want to increase the range, we want to record more temperature values. So if we use a small capillary, the small capillary can record from 20 degrees to 40 degrees. But if we use a longer capillary, if we increase the size of the capillary or the bore or the tube, then what we can do, we can record greater numbers. So it can record from 20 to 60. So if you want to increase the range, if you want to record more temperature readings, values, so what we should use, we should larger the length of the tube and the stem. So C should be the right answer. To increase the range, we use a longer capillary. Question number 7. The diagram shows 4 spherical objects at same temperature. 2 of the objects are small and 2 of the objects are large. 2 objects are white and 2 objects are black. Which object emits the infrared radiation at a greatest rate? So which one? Because dull and dark surfaces are good absorber and good emitter, so D will emit out more radiation as compared to that of any other. So dull and dark surfaces are good absorber and good emitter. D, because of large size and black, surface, it will emit out more radiation. Any other question from 6 to 10? Dull and dark surfaces are good absorber and good emitter. So example, if you have two surfaces, one is dark, another one is light. And if initially both are at the same temperature, for example, temperature of a dark surface is 20, temperature of the lighter surface is also, or a white surface example is also 20. When they are exposed to the heat, dull and dark surfaces are good absorbers. So as it will absorb energy more, its temperature will rise more. And when it release energy, because it absorbs greater amount of energy, so when you allow them to cool down, so which one will emit out radiation more? The black surface will emit out radiation more. So dull and dark surfaces are good absorbers and good emitters. So if they are good absorber, they will show greater rise in temperature. If they are good emitter, so they will show a greater change in temperature. That's why A is the right answer. So rate of temperature increase is also greater, rate of temperature decrease is also greater. Because when it absorbs energy, temperature rises from 20 to 25. When this absorb energy, maybe its temperature rise from 20 to 22. So it says only 2-degree change in temperature, but for a dull dark surface, it's a 5-degree change in temperature. But when it emit out radiations, it reach the same 20 degrees. So how much temperature change will occur? 5. When it will emit out radiation, how much temperature change will occur? 2. A copper bar and a wooden bar are joined. A piece of paper is wrapped tightly around the joint. The bar is heated strongly at a center. After a short time, the paper goes brown. So why the paper goes brown? Because when you supply heat energy, which side the paper will go brown? So when you supply heat energy, copper is the conductor. So as copper is a conductor, it will transfer energy from one end to another. So here the temperature will not rise too much. But what happened, wood is not a good conductor. So as it will not allow energy to pass, so the temperature of this side of paper will increase. As the temperature increase, so this side will turn brown. So brown side is for wood, and wood is insulator, where copper is a conductor. The thermal energy transferred through a copper. Copper is a metal. So what metal contain? Metal contain a lattice of positive ions and free electrons. So when we supply heat energy, what happens? Because the particles vibrate, as the particle vibrate, they collide with each other and transfer energy from one to another. So method in a solid is conduction. What is the second? And how it happened? Because the thermal energy through a copper rod involved in electrons, a second process is also involved there. So what is that process? A conduction. And how it is transfer of energy? By the vibration of the lattice or the lattice vibration. Metals have a lattice of the positive ions and the free electrons. So when you supply heat energy to a piece of metal, when you heat a metal, what you cause? You cause the lattice, the positive ions to vibrate and they collide with each other and transfer energy from one end to another. So how the energy transfer occur is by conduction, and how conduction happen is by lattice vibration. Convection happen by change in the density, and it can occur in both liquids and gases. Because it is a solid, so in solid the method of heat transfer is conduction by the lattice vibration. Question 11 to 15, any doubt? So here you have a heater. What happens? The air particles which gain energy. So as these particles will gain energy, they move away from each other. As the particle move away from each other, what will happen to density of this region? It will decrease because density is mass present in a unit volume. If the volume increase, the density will decrease. So the particles which will come in contact with the heater, they absorb energy. As they absorb energy, they move away from each other. So density of this region will decrease because the volume increase. So the particle will rise up. So hot energetic molecules always rise up. So which statement about the air that is heated is correct? So air expand and become less dense. So when it becomes less dense, the hot air will rise up. Any other doubt from question 11 to question 15? In question 18, which statement about the transfer of thermal energy is correct? All metals conduct thermal energy equally well. Convection can only occur in solids or liquid. So in which material the convection can occur? Convection occur actually in liquid and gases. And all metals conduct thermal energy equally well. It's not like some metals, all of them can conduct, but the rate at which they conduct, that's not same. For example, if they all conduct energy with the same rate, then if you was having a piece of a rod which is made up of iron and a rod made up of copper, and you place a wax above the copper and iron, so when you supply heat energy, the wax will melt in different times. So which shows that they don't have the same capability of conducting heat energy. Both can conduct heat energy, but one will conduct faster than the other. The convection occur in liquid because a hot liquid is more dense. That's wrong. Hot liquid is having less density. The radiation that transfer thermal energy is a type of electromagnetic. That's true. Electromagnetic radiation means it can pass through vacuum. So it can pass through vacuum. That's why D is a correct answer. Why A is not a correct answer? Because all metal does not conduct energy with the same rate. Convection does not happen in solid. It only happens in liquid and gases. And hot liquids are not more dense. They are less dense. The radiation that transfer thermal energy is a type of electromagnetic radiation. What does it mean, electromagnetic radiation? It means it can travel through vacuum. That is how we are able to receive the energy from the sun, because between sun and earth there is a vacuum, space is there, but how energy transfer between sun and earth? In the form of electromagnetic radiation. A radiation or the wave which can pass through a vacuum, we call that as electromagnetic radiation. A cupboard is placed in front of the heater. the air can move through the gap under the cupboard. So what will happen? The air molecules which are near the heater, they will absorb energy. As these molecules will absorb energy, the hot energetic molecule, what will happen? They will move away from each other. As they will move away from each other, the density will decrease. As the density decreases, the hot air will rise. So now there are few particles here. So molecules, a cold air molecule will move towards the heater. Which row describe the temperature and the direction of the movement of air in the gap? So which air is moving? The cold air is moving towards the heater because the hot air is rising up. And what is the direction of this? It is towards the heater. In question 19, the diagram shows a heater above a thermometer. So if heater is above a thermometer, if there are air molecules, the hot air molecule will always rise up. So this is not convection cannot happen, because convection, the particle will rise up. If thermometer was at the top, then convection will also take place. But in this case, the hot air molecules will rise up. So convection is not the way by which energy transfer to the thermometer. Conduction happen in solid. Between a heater and a thermometer, you have air, so conduction cannot happen. So how the energy can transfer from the heater to the thermometer is only by radiation. Because for conduction to happen, there should be a solid. For convection, the hot energetic molecules, the particle which gain energy, they move away from each other, the density decreases, and that portion of the fluid will rise up. So if portion of the fluid will rise up, so it cannot collide with the thermometer. So the only way by which energy transfer between the heater and the thermometer is the radiation. And question number 20, a mercury thermometer with no scale, there is no scale on this, and is taped to a ruler as shown. When the thermometer is placed in a steam, what is the temperature of the steam? Temperature of a boiling water or steam is 100. The mercury level rises to 22 centimeter. And when the thermometer is placed in a pure melting ice, the temperature of a pure melting ice is 0. The temperature falls to 2 centimeter. So what it shows that 22 centimeter is equals to 100, because they mention here when we place this thermometer in a steam or a boiling water, its temperature is 100 or 22 centimeter, or the level is there, so this shows 100. And when we place this thermometer in a pure melting ice, it rises to 2 centimeter. So as it rises to 2 centimeter, it means this is 0 degree. So now what you have to do, you just have to number these. So 2 centimeter stands for 0 degrees, and 22 centimeter stands for 100 degree. So what you can do, you can simply number this. So it means that each centimeter, because from 2 to 22 centimeter, if 100 numbers are there, each 2 centimeter represent 10 degrees. So this one is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and that is 100. So you write the numbers on this, because 2 centimeter was 0 mark and 22 centimeters 100 degree mark. So every 2 centimeter, Every 2 centimeter means 10 degrees. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So which level it matches? It's 30 degree. So what's the right answer? C is the correct answer. The diagram shows a cross section of a vacuum flask which contain a hot liquid in a cold room. X and Y are the points inside the flask, and between X and Y there is a vacuum. So vacuum conduction cannot happen, convection cannot occur. Both conduction and convection cannot occur. So how the thermal energy transfer between X and Y? The only way it can transfer, because for conduction it should be by the vibration of the particles, for convection it is by the movement of the particle. So it required a particle for convection and conduction to occur. Radiation can passes through vacuum, so that's why D is the right answer. Any other question? This is exercise 1. Exercise 2 now. Exercise 2 of thermometer and methods of heat transfer. Question number 1. A 240 volt supply, a 60 watt lamp is connected. The lamp has a constant temperature. The rate at which the lamp transfer energy to the surrounding. So rate of energy transfer, energy divided by time, what we call? We call power. Because the rate at which the lamp transfer energy to the surrounding. Rate of energy transfer or energy divided by time, what we call power. So what is the power given here in the question? The power is given 60 watts, so you will mention 60. The rate of energy transfer means power. And what is the power given in this question? The power is 60, that's why we write 60 watts. Name the thermal process by which the lamp transfer energy to the surrounding. So how the lamp is transferring energy, the main source. If you place a lamp, for example, if this is a lamp and this is a floor, so how the energy transfer from the lamp to you? By radiation, not conduction. Conduction is not by conduction, it's by radiation in electromagnetic radiation or infrared radiation. Conduction is when there is a solid, then there is a conduction. This is not conduction, only radiation. The conduction and convection, if you are touching a lamp, then you can mention conduction. Like example, if I say why the other answers they accept, what is the main way energy transfer is by radiation. Conduction, for example, if I touch the lamp, then I will say conduction. If I place my hand above the lamp, then it is convection. But the main source is conduction. Main source is radiation. So energy transfer is main source is radiation. But example, if you have a lamp, if I place my hand above the lamp at point A, so how the energy transfer is by radiation and by convection, because the hot energetic molecule will also rise up. If I place hand at position B, then convection cannot happen because the hot energetic molecule always rise up. So only thing how the energy transfer is by radiation. But if I'm touching the lamp directly, so how the energy transfer? The energy transfer by conduction. Any other question in this exercise 2 of thermometer and heat energy transfer? In an experiment, the thermometer are both shiny and silver colored. So the question is, the thermometer bulbs are both shiny silver colored. They are placed at some distance from a surface. State and explain the difference. What will be the difference? Like in the beginning, it's black, but now I made it shiny. Shiny surfaces are good reflector. So what will happen? They will not absorb too much energy. As it will not absorb too much energy, so what they will do? They will show a smaller or slower change in temperature. The black surface is a good absorber, but in the question they mentioned here, in an experiment 2, the thermometer bulbs are both shiny. So if they are shiny, what will happen? Because the shiny surface is not a good absorber, so it will show a smaller rate of change in temperature, or the temperature will not change quickly. It will take more time to change the temperature, because when it is absorbing, instead of absorbing energy, most of the energy is reflected. Very small amount of energy is being absorbed. So temperature rise will be slower when we use a shiny bulb thermometer. Is it clear? Three B2. Explain why a high sensitivity is important for this experiment. When we are recording a smaller change in temperature, then high sensitive thermometer are important because it is easy to read the scale. If I say we have two thermometers, this is a capillary of a thermometer. This is capillary. Original temperature is 20 degrees. Here also 20 degrees. Then 30. And this is high sensitivity, so it will record more numbers like 20.1, 20.2, 20.3. So when they absorb energy, example, the temperature rises from 20 to 20.3. Or the temperature changes from 20 degrees to 20.3 degrees. Which one is easy to read the scale? High sensitive thermometer or low sensitive thermometer? So high sensitivity thermometer is easy to record the temperature. So that's when a temperature change is small, it is easy to read the scale with a high sensitive thermometer. So what's the reason why we use a high sensitive thermometer? Because if a temperature change is small, we prefer to use a high sensitivity thermometer. In 1B1, Experiment, the thermometer are both painted black. They are placed at equal distance, the maximum temperature shown for each. Explain any difference between the maximum temperature by the two thermometers. So what happened? Dull and dark surface is a good absorber and good emitter. So dull and dark surface will emit out more radiation as compared to shiny surface. So which temperature or which thermometer will record a greater change in temperature? So the higher temperature reading or rise for a dull and dark surface because it is a good absorber and good emitter. So thermometer A will show a greater change or rise in temperature. Any other question in this worksheet? Exercise 5B. Explain why, this is 5A. Suggest the reason what must be added to a flask in order to keep the liquid hot. So what is missing here? The missing is the cap or the lid. So what we should do, we should place a cap or a lid. What is the advantage of placing a cap or a lid? Because if there was no lid, then evaporation can also happen. And evaporation is a cooling process. The most energetic molecule gain energy from the surrounding and escape. So evaporation will cool down the liquid. So what we don't want evaporation to happen. So what we should do, we should place a lid or a cap. So when we place a lid or the cap, the molecules, the hot energetic molecules are not able to go out. And how it prevent? It prevent heat energy or loss of heat energy by convection, you can also say, or by evaporation. The question is, suggest with reason what must be added to a flask in figure 4.1 in order to keep a liquid hot. You want to keep this liquid hot, you don't want this liquid to cool down. But what happened, as you can see, there is no lid here. So as there is no lid, the molecule can escape. As the molecule can escape, evaporation can happen. You want to stop this evaporation. So how you can stop this evaporation? By placing a lid or a cap. Yeah, so 1 mark is for mentioning place a lid or the cap. What's the second mark? How it reduces. So how it reduces, it will not allow the convection and evaporation to take place. Why we have a silver, these walls are silver surface? Because silver is the best reflector, so it will not allow the heat radiation to go out. So even if some radiations are able to go out, but there is a reflecting surface, the silver polish is there, so the radiation will remain inside or not able to leave. Not black surface. If you blacken the surface, black surfaces are good absorber. So if you black the black surface will absorb energy from the liquid, so liquid temperature will decrease. We don't want the liquid temperature to decrease. And in the question, the first part they mentioned why the rate of loss of thermal energy through the wall by conduction is very low. What is the reason why it is very low? Even we try to create a vacuum, but maybe some air particles are there. But what happened? A vacuum, if there is a vacuum, there is no particle, so the conduction cannot happen. And second part, why the rate of loss of thermal energy through the wall by radiation is very low? Because it's a silver or the shiny surface which are good reflector, does not allow heat energy to escape in the form of radiation. Any other question? Equal volume of gas held at a constant pressure, a liquid and a solid. Which which of three expand the most? So which one expand the most? The gases expand the most because they have very weak force between the particle. And which expands the least? The solid expands the least. Why the pressure of the gas must be kept constant for a fair comparison? Because the pressure also affects the change in the volume. When you supply heat energy to solid, liquid and gas, because in gases the particles are far away from each other, in liquid they are comparatively closer, and solid they are tightly packed together. So when I supply heat energy to the gas, liquid and solid, because the particles have very weak force, so they move away from each other. That's why the gases expands the most and the solid expands the least. And why the pressure of the gas must be kept constant for fair comparison? Because the volume of the gas is affected by temperature, and volume of the gas is also affected by pressure. But we are finding the effect of temperature on the volume. That's why the pressure must be kept constant. The marking scheme I shared on the group, Saleh. Explain why her hands are not heated by convection. Why her hands are not heated by convection? Because what will happen? The hot energetic molecules, the air will rise up. Air will not move sideways, the hot air will always rise up. So as the air will rise up, there is no collision between the air and the hand, or the particles of air and hand. That's why there is no. So hot air always rise up. It will not move right or left or sideways. Why her hand is not heated by conduction? Because there is no contact between the hand and the plate. There is air between them. As there is air is in, you can say, a poor conductor or insulator, does not allow heat energy to transfer it. So the energy which he received is by radiation only. Is it clear? Any other doubt? It is suggested that the copper sheet cools to a lower temperature than the other side. Why does it does not happen? Because what happened, copper is a conductor. So if it's a conductor, the energy will transfer from one end to another. Because this is copper. I will share another link and discuss this question 6 part C.